Time. We haven't got Bill handy yet. There's my.
Hello, Andy. The ID he sent was the ID you sent was the wrong one.
Hi, Andy. We're having difficulty getting our presenter on board at the moment. I shall just make sure he's. I did send him the right one, but I think he's picked up the old one. So let's send him. Hello, Atsu. I'm just admitting people whilst we're on it, and
the ID, please.
yeah, I'm just trying to get you there. People are joining, and I need to get you onto there as well. So it should have sent you another. I'll tell you what, I've got a better way to do this. You know the ID for the Zoom attendees, Andy. Could you use that one?
Oh, the one that was sent out.
Yeah. Use that one.
Okay.
Use that one. Hello. Right. I'm just in. Whoops. Wrong. So I'm just asking everybody to start their videos. And I'd like to welcome you all here. We've had a mammoth 4.5 hour symposium this afternoon. So it's been quite a quite a session. Hello, everybody. Hello.
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 Hi.
Jane, could I ask you to? Oh no, you're unmuted as well now.
It's not for me, it's for you.
Hang on, we've got a couple more to bring in. Right. Okay, I think you're in now, coming in now, Andy.
Hello.
Go, there we go. Hello, everybody. Is that all?
Hello.
Wow, we got a good selection of people, haven't we? This looks awesome, actually. This looks really great.
I don't know if anyone can hear me. Does anyone know what the password is? Because I'm trying to look at it on my PC, but at the moment I'm only using my phone. But I don't know if there's a password for this.
I think the password's in the link.
Yeah, it was a long one. There was about 25 letters.
It's actually part of the link. Yeah, you're in. We can hear you. We can see you, Stephen.
You can see me, can you? All right. Well, at least I'm on the phone.
Hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a good number of presenters. Can I just do a quick sort of housekeeping thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So oh, hang on. I've got Rob Guest on the phone, and I'll have to. I have sent you an email, Rob. Gillian.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check that. It's just where this isn't showing for us at the moment.
No, so I sent you an email with a new link.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So, yes, yeah. Should there be a fire, the exits are over the and get flooded. Yeah, head for the shallow end. Right. so the way this works is you can all participate. You can all mute at any time. There's a chat facility at the bottom, and I wouldn't use the Q&A. Use the chat. So if you want to put something on the, just make a note of a question you might have as Andy goes through something. You can put it on that chat, and I'll be monitoring that and butt in at any point to be able to tell Andy what I think. We've got one viewer on YouTube. It's not a public YouTube thing, this one. We've got one viewer, and that is Gillian, who often teaches the beginners pipe and tabor, but she can't get Zoom where she lives in the depths of the Forest of Dean. So we are just a group of us here, and I'm going to be switching around the view so that I can actually make Andy the main see, so that everything's nice and clear. But every now and then I'll switch to a gallery view so that we can all see each other. And also, if you want to ask any questions, I can actually, or demonstrate something, I can actually switch you to be the main view. So we can play around with it.
So Steve, can I see gallery view all the time? That would be really helpful for me.
Hang on, we've got Rob Gillian here. Hello.
Anyway, while Steve's
all right, I'll get you the right link and I'll come back to you shortly. Yes.
So while Steve's talking, so a big welcome to this session. It's going to be a very friendly session because, let's face it, we're all just trying to improve. So we're all going to be very collaborative and supporting each other. So what I'm going to get you to think about just in a moment is whether you just want to briefly, each of you say whether there's something that you'd like to do with the pipe and tabor. Other than sort of burn it or put it into a latrine, which is, I think, what often used to happen in history. But so in a minute I'm going to ask you if you want to say something like that. You don't have to, it's completely up to you, but it just might help me get an idea of what you're sort of aiming for. So that's just in a minute. So I just want to start with the fact that hopefully you've all got a pipe of some sort. So the pipe I have is a Generation 1. I think George Twitchin there has got the poshest pipe. His is like a BM sort of, I don't know, like a Rolls Royce of pipes, really. He's got he's got a Mark Binns beautifully crafted one, but they're all very similar in a way. They're all high D, and they all have a lot of similar characteristics actually. And so even George's, it's not like twice as good as everybody else's. It's just, a very special pipe. But yeah, so this is the pipe we're going to use.
Andy, so I don't see George on here. Is that me being thick?
That's because his mum has logged him in as Jane Twitchin.
Sorry, George.
He does sometimes dress as a zebra, so he's even harder to spot then. So yeah. Right. Anyway, so this is the pipe we're going to be using. It's an amazing instrument. The person who taught me largely, Russell Wortley, got these made, and they're just amazing value for £9.95. They are incredible instruments. So we're going to be using this. Hopefully you've all got something to hit. It doesn't really matter if the thing that you've got to hit is even a piece of cardboard or something. As long as you've got something to hit and something to hit it with. Yeah, so that's all good. So before we start getting into the whole thing of holding, just a bit of background. So the pipe and tabor was an amazing instrument in history. It's the foremost instrument for Morris dancing from the 15th century across Europe. And it's just an awesome instrument today. So what's not to like? So now, yeah, we'll just have a couple of minutes, just if anybody wants to say what they would like to do with the pipe and tabor. We're not committing you to anything. Do we want to go around? Denise, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. I'm a Morris musician.
Yeah.
We also have a medieval band. I play English pipes and hurdy-gurdy, but I don't play the gurdy anymore because I've got RSI in my shoulder.
Ooh.
So, but I play Morris, and I wanted to play it for the Morris. That was all. I play the melodeon for the Morris at the moment, not the pipes, but I wanted to play the pipe and tabor. And the side actually have a pipe and tabor that an older member that died years ago used to play. So I've been entrusted with that.
Wow.
Something I wanted to ask: will this be recorded? Are we able to go back onto it and look at it at a later date?
I'm not sure. That's something that Steve might be able to tell us. At one point, we were going to record it. I'm not sure if we are now. Steve,
We are recording. It says it's recording.
Okay.
It is recording.
Yeah.
But generally, with a workshop, the idea is that you are able to work, in safe knowledge that nobody's watching you and make laugh at you.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're free to make mistakes and ask what you think is a daft question and things like that. So we took the decision not to broadcast it on YouTube. But I can. I am making a recording, and I can save that recording, and I could put it on YouTube as an unlisted, and let you have the
link.
The link. So
yeah,
I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really useful.
Anybody object to that? Just to check. Anybody objecting to that? No, that's okay. Well, it sounds like we'll do that then. Okay, thank you, Denise. So Charlotte, what are you hoping to do?
I started learning how to play the Tabor pipe last year, and I can play it really well, but I find it really hard to play the drum at the same time. And I think it's partly because I've been playing it with my right hand, and maybe I should actually learn to play it with my left hand. So I think what I need to do is relearn.
Which is your leading hand? What would you?
My right hand.
That's your leading hand. So normally the normal thing is that you use your leading hand for the tabor. So is that what you're doing?
I'm doing it the other way because it felt more natural to have the lower hand at the bottom of the instrument.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but if you want to sort of follow the sort of generally accepted way of doing things, which does have some advantages, you might be wise to switch early in your career. But,
yes, so we're only a year in.
Give it a go anyway. You can always switch back, can't you? Okay, that's really interesting. George, do you have a moment to tell us what would you like to do with pipe and tabor?
I don't really know.
You don't know.
Anything,
Fair
really.
enough. Yeah, I think that's entirely reasonable. You are a man of many priorities, so that's fair enough. Okay, Jim, how about you?
Well, I come from being a recorder player and loved the sound of the tabor, so wanted to get one of those. And I know a little bit about sort of history, and it was, you needed to get a pipe to go with it, really, if you were going to do the whole thing. I've done a little bit of experimenting with it, but sort of getting the whole thing together and getting sounds reliably and so on. And really, after any hints, I quite literally joined the Tabor Society yesterday.
Wow!
So I was a bit surprised to find there was a video, a Zoom meeting ready for me. So anything to learn would be good.
Yeah. I think one of the things they reckon about workshops is you're sort of lucky if you get half a thing out of each workshop, aren't you? So let's hope you all get half a thing. Kurt, how about you? Is there anything that you would like to say about what you would like to do? Oh, we're getting some sound issues there. Steve, can you? No. Okay. Well, let's come.
I'm just looking. There's nothing about Kurt's settings,
Okay.
which. So I think you may have a problem there, Kurt, somewhere on your computer. Perhaps
Okay.
go on to the others,
Yeah.
and then give
Come
time
back.
for Kurt
Come
to,
to Kurt. Okay. How about you, Jason?
I took up pipe and tabor quite recently, and playing for a border Morris side, and I've sort of concentrated mainly on the pipe side of things, because the tabor side of things, you have a big bass drum and you whack it all the way through the border Morris. And I started getting a bit interested in, well, there is more to this, what you do with your right hand. There must be a reason why you're using your leading hand to hit the drum rather than just going 1, 2, 3, 4 all the time. And started learning more Cotswolds stuff. And Andy's been teaching me about Cotswolds pipe and tabor recently. And and they just want, just become a better player.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hate to break in. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Hey.
Brilliant.
My system chose the wrong microphone. If I can go ahead. My background is I play recorder. I belong to a medieval theater group, Les Enfants Sans Abri, that does medieval and Renaissance comedies. And it's very common to have a musical accompaniment. So that's that. Looking at the medieval and Renaissance lithography, it's a pipe and tabor is one of the instruments.
Fantastic. That's great. Excellent.
whereabouts are you, Kurt?
I am in Los Angeles.
Is-
So if I gasp for breath, it's because of the fires. The air is truly horrible.
Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Stephen.
Hi there. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Good afternoon. Yeah, my main musical interest actually is the, you'll probably scoff when I say it, it's the ukulele. In fact, I'm the chairman of the George Formby Society.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
For years, I've loved the Morris sound, just like Denise mentioned earlier on. It's great stuff. And so about a year ago, I started trying to blow one of these things, which it's come along okay, but this sounds so high. So I also got myself one in C, which is much more comfortable sound-wise for me anyway. So I want to try and improve the D one. But I've been a bit lazy really, because I haven't got myself a tabor yet. I've only been concentrating on blowing this thing.
Okay. Do you have something to hit for today?
Well, not to hang, but I've got a container I can hit. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything. As long as it's not the mother-in-law.
No, she's not around here.
Okay, and lastly, Atsu.
It's just exciting for me. I would love to see what you do, because I joined the Tabor Festival for 10 years, but I haven't had the chance to join the beginner's workshop. So that's just exciting for me to join it.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, let's get started then. Thanks, Atsu. So, what I think we ought to do first is just think about the whole dance genre, because really the instrument is rooted in dance. The piece that we're going to look at is called The Bows of London City. So we're all going to actually get up and actually do some very basic stepping in a way that we're then going to try and facilitate when we play. So if we all get up.
I like the t-shirt, by the way. Very nice.
So I'm just going to angle the angle the picture down so you can see my feet. So the stepping that we're going to be supporting. Is everybody ready to do a little bit of stepping? Yeah.
Roughly how much space do we need? I mean, quite a small.
You don't need any space really, as long as you can just step in position. That's all you need to be able to do. Okay. So the stepping that we're going to be supporting in this tune is Atterbury Morris single stepping, and it just goes like this. It just goes left hop, right hop, left hop, right hop, left hop, right hop, top, right hop, left hop, right hop, top, right hop, left hop, right hop. Okay, has everybody got that? You're all moving. So you're getting that rhythm. So what I'd like you to do now is pick up whatever your tabor is. Get it in a playable state. I don't know if you have to. On mine, I just have to shift these things called buffs, so that so the tension's the way that I like it, but you might not have to do anything like that. And I'm going to pick up this this stick, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the tabor so that it's in a position where it's not going to be moving around too wildly. And for all of you, that might be slightly different. And it's always an issue with tabors, is to find a way that works well for you, that where the instrument is very, very stable. So in my case, what I've done is I've just jammed it against myself here. But you might have some different techniques. There are all sorts of different ways of attaching tabors. So what we're going to do is think about how can we do some taboring that supports that stepping. So I'm just going to do that stepping again. So it's going to go left hop, right hop, left hop, right hop, left hop, right hop. It's that single step pulsating rhythm. So the way that I suggest we do it is we just find somewhere in the middle of our tabor, and we let's try hitting the middle and the outside. See if we get some different sounds. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go. So let's see. Can we just go around, see if you can each do a strong weak sound. You just go around, unmute, and let's should we go around? How about Denise? Can you give us a strong weak? So a strong weak, strong weak, strong weak, strong weak sound. Can you do that for us, Denise?
I am doing.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you imagine. Yeah. Okay. Strong weak. Charlotte, can we have a strong weak from you? Yeah. Okay.
It's difficult because it's so little.
Yeah. And it might be interesting for you to see if you can, after the workshop, see if you can find ways of maybe you see that my tabor, I've got some stuff stretched across just to dampen the sound a bit. It's just one of the options you have if you've got a very high sounding instrument.
Yeah.
But that was a good strong weak sound. George, can we have a strong weak from you? Strong weak sound. I'm not hearing you, George.
Oh, really?
I can hear that. Can you give us can you get strong weak? Yeah, that's sounding really good. Excellent. Okay, Jim, can we have a strong weak from you? Excellent. Kurt, can we have one from you, please? Yeah, it's very, very quiet actually. Might be a microphone issue, but I can see you're doing.
I'm certain it is. I'm not at an optimal place for the mic.
Don't worry. I can see you're doing a good job though. Excellent. Jason, can we have a strong week from you? Okay, thank you. Stephen, can we have a strong week from you?
Well, you've all made me very embarrassed because I haven't got a table. All I've got is a container to hit.
Oh, that's fine. No. We're all in this together. It's just all the collaboration. Yeah, that sounds good. Excellent. Jeremy, can you give us a strong week sound? Excellent. And Atsu, can you give us a strong week? Strong week taboring, please.
It's a part because now at 9:30 here. So.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Very good. Okay. So what I suggest we do now is just see if we can actually do the stepping and that taboring together. It doesn't matter if it doesn't really work for you. It's just an exercise to sort of internalize the whole dance thing, because this is a dance instrument and you're there to support the dancers. So it's really good to know as much as possible about the dance and really get it into your head. So let's just all sort of see if we can have a go at doing that. So here we go. Ready and strong, 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 strong. Excellent. Okay. Does anybody have any issues with that, or are you all okay with that? It's just something to practice later, really.
I was losing the weak one. The strong one was okay, but it was the weak one that it was like the hop kick thing. I couldn't do the kick thing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I am having to do it sitting down at the minute because I have an injury, but...
Oh, no, that's fair enough.
Do you have some advice as to how to hold the stick?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's look at that. That's a very good point. Okay. So, let's get on to sticks. So I've got 4 different sticks to show you, just to show you that there's massive variation in sticks, and it's very much a personal choice and an experimentation of each tabor, really, to find what works for you, and really to have an idea of the sound that you like to produce, given that you're trying to support the dancers. You're trying to really drive them forwards or drive them up in the air, or whatever you're trying to do. Or even if you're playing for a waltz, you're trying to, give an impression of dynamism. So it's all about imagining the sound that you want. And the next thing then is to think about your tabor and really investigate the sorts of sounds it can make at the moment, and whether you want to fiddle around with it, whether you want to alter the tension, whether you want to alter the snare, put some sort of dampener across it. There's all sorts of possibilities, or even invest in a different one. There's just lots and lots of possibilities, and it's all about thinking about how do you want to propel the dancers and give them some lift. So now, and part of that sort of investigation, which I think for most taborers, that investigation never ends. It's just a continuous thing. Oh gosh, maybe I could improve something by trying something else. So that's just a quest to be passionate about, really. Now, in terms of sticks, you're going to get a different sound from a tabor with different sorts of sticks. And this is the commonest sort of stick that you'll see. So, for example, if you go to the Early Music Shop in London, get a tabor from them, you'll get a stick like this. You can get sticks custom made. So I found that I had an old toy actually that had this had a lump of wood in this shape, and I found it was so good for certain sorts of tabering. I got Marcus Music to make a set of sticks in this shape. So Marcus Music will make sticks in special shapes, and they also make a specialized stick that looks like this, which is a very, very nice stick for certain styles of playing. And then finally, this stick here was made for me by Rob Guest, who's the one of the head honchos in the Tabor Society. So he's a really super person, and yeah, this is a really interesting stick. So they all perform slightly differently. I'm going to focus today on this one because this is the one that's most commonly around. And the thing about all sticks really is that you're going to be wanting to find a place in somewhere in it down this stick. There's going to be a balance point where you can start doing something like this. So can you see what I'm doing? And by the way, so this hand is my leading hand, and the reason it's my leading hand is because right since at least the 15th century, pipe and tabor players haven't been called, not normally called pipers, they're normally called taborers, because you lead with the tabor. So the tabor is the instrument you lead with, and you're using your strong arm for, and you're leading it to drive the dancers, and really the pipe is there to accompany the tabor so that there's a bit more of a structure for the dancers so that they know where they are in the dance, and it will help the whole process. So so thinking about that tune, you see, we got the essence of that stepping without having the pipe at all, because we could do the strong weak, strong weak, strong weak, strong weak. So when I'm doing the strong weak, I got the stick, and it doesn't really matter what style of stick it is. You need to have it in a very floppy configuration, so it will really twiddle around. So is everybody able to do a twiddle? Yeah, I can see lots of twiddling. Yeah, there's some great twiddling going on. That's fantastic. So that's something to practice, actually, is to get that really nice twiddling thing going. And then what happens when you get it near the tabor, you can use this twiddle as a way of, you can flick. So what I'm doing there is I'm actually flicking. So I give a tiny flick, and the tabor is hit, and the stick bounces. So the thing I mustn't do is I mustn't drag it down. I mustn't drag down and keep the pressure on. I have to just flick and then allow it to bounce back again. Okay, so can we all just maybe just let's go round and just quickly practice that flick. So can we have a flick from Denise?
I think my stick's too big because you've all got little ones and I've got a bloody great big one off the bass drum.
I can demonstrate it with this one if you like. Okay, I'll demonstrate it with this one. Here we go. Look.
Okay. I've got a big drum as well.
It'll work with any size.
Mine's a bit floppy.
Yeah, no, floppy is good. Floppy is good. Yeah, so you're getting a good floppiness. That's good. So it's something to practice afterwards is floppiness, but with that nice strong flick. Okay, yeah. Charlotte, can we have a... That's good. Yeah, yeah. George, can you give us a flick with your tabor, please? Oh. Okay. And can you do more of a flick rather than, because at the moment you're sort of dragging it slightly towards the instrument. Can we see you just do a bit more of a flick? Okay, yes. So you're still, can I just paraphrase what I think you're doing? I think you're doing this or something a bit like that. And what I want you to do is this. So it bounces off. Yeah, can you just try that again? Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I can see that. That's really good. And I know with your pedigree, you're going to be amazing at doing this. Okay, Jim, how about you? Can you give us a flick?
I'll try and stand up so you can see. And I obviously need to work on how I hold the tabor.
Yeah, that's we all need to work on all sorts of stuff. No, that's good. Excellent. How about you, Kurt? Can you give us a quick flick? Yeah, okay, so I can see there's some good flicking going on there. Jason, can you give us a flick?
Yep, we'll do. See.
Yeah, that's nice. Excellent. Stephen, can you give us a bit of flicking technique there?
I'm going to have to use my wooden pipe turned this way round. That's all I've got, because I haven't got a stick and a tabor, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no, that's looking good. Excellent. That's looking really good. Jeremy, can you give us a quick flick? I can't see your. Can I see your hand? Okay, so it looks to me as if you're holding that. I'll do a sort of paraphrase of I think you're sort of doing quite a lot of gripping of that stick. And what you want to be doing is you want to be really just finding that balance position, and then doing a flick. Can I see you do a flick then? So see a quick flick. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. That's good. And finally, Atsu, can I see a little flick from you, please? Excellent. Okay, this is good. Right, so let's just try and consolidate that. So we're just going to all have a go at using this flicking technique, and we're going to be going strong weak, strong weak, strong weak, strong weak. Let's all have a go at that. Strong weak, strong weak, strong weak, strong. And we're thinking of the stepping as we're doing it. So we're really trying to get those dancers moving with a strong week. Okay, so we've used quite a lot of time on the tabering. I think, unless there's any questions, are there any questions at this point about what we've covered so far?
Just one very quick one, Andy, if you don't mind. As you know, I haven't got a tabor. Is the EMS, the Early Music Shop, is that a good place to get a starter tabor from, do you think?
Yeah, so they do. Yeah, what if you go there? You should sort of identify a possible one you're interested in, and then ring them up and ask them to have at least 3 of that model in the shop,
right,
and then go and try them, because they will all sound different. And I personally find a lot of them are kind of too high pitched for the sound that I want. So I would normally pick the one that was the sort of slackest of those 3, but you might have a different idea of the sound you want. But it's really good to get something from which is of a choice from them. If you want to pay a bit more, you can have something from Marcus. So this one's from Marcus. This one is from the Early Music Shop, and this one is from Marcus as well. So Marcus is a specialist maker, and very, very high quality.
Right.
But again, you do possibly fall foul there of, making sure that the thing that you are buying from them is the sound that you want. It's very easy to sort of end up with something that you think, oh well, actually no, it's sort of a bit too high pitched for me, or it's a bit low, or something about it. So EMS is a good place to start, to be honest. It's because it's low expenditure, and you'll probably, but it's best to try different ones. Okay, so that's a quick run through on that strong week. Oh yeah, is that a question, Steve?
No, sorry, no.
No, it's good. It's good what you're doing there. I'm just coming in here. I'm making some notes on the chat.
Oh yeah, okay.
People ask and things that we can pick up at the end, so that we could just go through to help people out there, rather than interrupting your flow.
Brilliant. Okay.
Capture stuff as we go. Okay.
Okay. I'll carry on then. So we covered this strong week and the fact that you need to think about the sounds that you want to make on your tabor. So I think the last thing before moving off the tabor I want to say is that in a lot of dances there will be a lift. There'll be a lifting point in the dance, and in this dance, it's quite interesting the way the phrasing goes. So I'll just show you the way that you would go. I'll hold. So this is a stick dance from Atterbury. So I'll sing the tune. So it goes, and I'll put it so you can see my feet. So it's going to go yum da 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 dum da dee da da dum da dee da 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 dum. And on that last bit, it's a ya da 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 dum. So there's a lift there. So as a taborer, your job is to find a way to help the dancers do that. So the way that I would personally do this, but it's always going to be, everyone's going to find different ways of doing these things. But I would do yum da 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 dum da dee da da dum da dee da 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 dum bum. So I'm going dubba da bum bum. So I'm giving it a little roll as the dancer goes back. It's like a coiled spring. You're trying to get them into a point where they're suddenly going to unleash themselves. Dubba da bum bum. So it's a lift land. So let's all see if we can just try doing dubba da bum bum. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't work, because we're all somewhere on this path anyway. So should we just go around and see if we can all try to do that? So Denise, see if you can just do a dubba da bum bum. Yeah, excellent. Okay, Charlotte, can you do? Excellent. Yeah, George, can you do that? Bum 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 bum. Yeah, good stuff. Jim, can you try that?
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, that's great. Kurt, can you try that? Yeah, okay, yeah. Jason, can you have a go at that?
Sure.
Yeah, excellent. Stephen, can you have a quick go at that? Yeah, Jeremy?
Oh, sorry.
Can we have that again? So you want dubba da bum bum. Excellent. Yep. And Atsu.
Could you show me again slowly?
It's da 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 dum dum.
Oh, okay. Always the center.
It's da 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 dum dum.
I see.
Excellent. Yeah. So these are the sorts of things as a taborer you're thinking about it. So you're leading your sound with your tabor, and you are dance centered. You're absolutely understanding what the dancers are going to do, and you're thinking, how can I lift them? How can I propel them? Right, let's look at the pipe. So how are we going to hold the pipe? Now, this is perhaps an issue to start with. So the way I would hold my pipe is I pick it up in my hand that isn't the one that I'm going to be playing with. And I start by placing my thumb very securely over the back hole. So it's really going to very, very, very effectively cover it. And then the next finger comes down and covers the next hole. The next finger covers the next hole. And then these two fingers are gripping the pipe. And they're very, very secure, so that if the pipe's in my mouth and I take all of these things off, it's going to be very secure. And it's really worth being very, very solid about that whole thing, because at some point in your pipe and tabor career, you may wish to do this thing, which is a way of getting half a note lower than the note you would otherwise get. And obviously, if you've got a very, very solid grip, then that helps. So let's just all try that as an exercise, because it's interesting, isn't it? Just twiddle that finger across the end. So that's just an exercise really to make sure that your whole holding of the pipe is really solid. Okay? Right, so we got that. We hopefully have a solid grip of tabor, and that's something to experiment with. And we are able to do a strong week. Let's find the bottom note of our scale. And so the way we're going to find that note is we're going to actually find the lowest note on the instrument and then work up from there. So I'm going to get my lowest note, which is going to be... Everybody get that really low note? You'll get the really low note? Yeah, all got that. So that one is completely useless to us. But it's the note to avoid. So our scale starts with our D, which is going to be the next note up. So it's going to be... So can we all try that note?
You need to blow a bit harder for that note.
Yep. So Denise, can we that's going to be your bottom D. Can we hear you do that one? Yeah, that's sounding good. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, George. George, bottom D. That's too high. You want? Oh, I think, okay, so you need to be covering all of these holes really, really well. So you've probably got a tiny air leak. See if you can get that bottom note. Okay. Can you hold your instrument so I can see all of your fingers? Yeah, okay. So maybe something to experiment with is whether you might want to, on this one, you might want to maybe put the fleshy part of your finger over it. That might be more secure. See if you can have another go. Yeah, that's sounding very good. That's very, very good. So that's a learning point there. Okay, Jim. Very nice. Yeah, Kurt. Yeah, lovely. Jason. Jason, quick low D. Very nice. Stephen. Quick low D. Very nice. Yeah, Jeremy. Okay, yeah. So the thing to avoid, and it's very easy. It's very easy. This is a common issue with Tabor piping, really, is it's very easy to have like overblows and things. So it really is all about practice, and it is all about, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Well, as Atsu would say, did you play pipe and tabor today? It's all about, if you can do 5 minutes every day, it really helps to get that reliability. Yeah, can we hear that again, Jeremy? Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. And Atsu, can you give us a low D, please?
Yeah, I make just a short sound because it's late. But I can't.
Very nice. Okay. Right. So I don't think we're going to get very far through the tune before we have I suggest we have a review point at about 8:15 and see if we want to carry on. But let's see if we can get a bit of the tune going. So this is how the tune sounds. And hopefully you've looked at the video. So I'm gonna play it. To start with, I'm going to play it at sort of full speed to give you an idea of what we're aiming for. And then I'm going to go at slow speed. And then we're going to start breaking it down to see, so we don't leave anybody behind. So eventually it's going to be like this. That's what we're aiming for. But let's just look at the first part of the tune very slowly. So it starts on that bottom note that we've just found. And it goes like this. It goes. So we're going bottom, bottom, and then we're going. So we're going. Let's see if we can all try and do that. Here we go. Okay. Okay, let's just try that again just to make sure we're not leaving anyone behind. So we're going. Yeah, that's sounding nice actually. Yeah, let's try that once more. So just to remember, we're being really solid with our thumbs, so our thumbs really not moving. And it's just these two fingers that are moving. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. Is anybody having any issues, or should we carry on from there? No, okay. So that's the first section of that tune. So I'll just play how that first bit of the tune goes, moving on. It goes. And so the two notes we're introducing, the first one we've already done because we've done the. So that's a note we've already used. And then the last note in this series, it's the same fingering as the first note that we're using, but we're overblowing. Let's just see if we can all get that bottom note and then that overblown note. So I'm just going to try the bottom note and then the overblown note. Let's just see if we can all do that. Ready? Is everybody managing?
Question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, so what we're trying to do, because the tune is using, the tune is going to go like this, and then it's going to go up 2 notes to this. So we're going. D, D. So that's an E, that's an F sharp.
Sharp.
And then we're going to go up to the A, isn't it? Because that's F sharp, G. It's going to be the A. So we're going to be going up to the A. So it's like the first note that we had, which was the D, but we're fingering's all exactly the same. It's all fingers on, but we're just blowing harder to get that higher note. So let's all try getting a D and then the A. That's the one, it's the same fingering but higher up. So we're all going to go. Yeah. Let's just make sure everybody can do that. So Denise, can you see if you can do that for us? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Charlotte. Lovely. George. Yeah, good. Yeah. Jim. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Kurt. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, Stephen. Very nice. Jeremy. Very good. Jason. Lovely. Atsu. Oh, I can't hear you, Atsu, for some reason. It's a long way from Bulgaria. I know you can do it anyway. I was only asking you to tease. Okay. So that's good.
Am I muted?
Well, you weren't muted, but we couldn't hear your notes for some reason.
No. Ah, hang on. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Right. So we've got all those notes now. So let's just try that first part of the tune. So just as a reminder, we're going to be going. I'll just remind you. We're going to go. Okay, so everybody and. Yeah. Should we have a quick go round and see how we're getting on with that then? So, Denise. Doesn't matter if it all falls over. It applies to all of us, of course.
I keep forgetting which one's off and on. Not like the bagpipes, this.
Everybody's just willing everybody else to be as good as possible. So really don't worry whatever happens.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
That was actually sounding quite good, I think. Yeah.
I'm getting my fingering mixed up with my bagpipes. I'm having to think. It's like completely different, and it's.
Yeah.
You know, can I ask a question? You know, when you're blowing, are you actually doing a tut? Like, you know, like you play the recorder?
Very good question. Okay, so yeah. So it's probably best to sort of blow with a little bit of a that's a good point. So let's just all practice that low D and then the high. Do you remember the A that's overblown? So we're going to go. We'll go. Yeah. Okay, that's a very good question. Thanks for asking. You always get the best things if you have people asking questions. Do you want to just quickly play that again? So you're going to be going. Yep, Denise, you have a quick go at that.
All right.
Well, I think most of the notes were there, so that's pretty
None
good.
in the right order.
Charlotte, how about you? Wow, awesome.
Wow.
Well done.
George.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to try slightly more control? So you're going. Yeah, wow, awesome. Way to go, George. Jim.
I think
Yeah,
one of
you
them
got
was
most
wrong.
of them there. Yeah. One more go. One more go.
No.
Yeah, I think you're getting most of it. Okay, Kurt. Yeah, awesome. Jason. Woo! Stephen. Nice. Jeremy. Yeah, Atsu. Woo! Very nice. Okay, so we've now got quite a lot of the tune. And we've probably only got about 10 minutes before we start deciding whether we want to carry on. Let's see if we can get a bit further with it. So the tune goes on. I'm going to go from the start. So it goes. That's the next bit. So it's going to go. That's the next bit we're going to go. Let's see if we can do that next bit. Let's everybody try from the beginning. Here we go. And. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, is anybody having any issues with that? Does anybody want to do a quick check with us to see how they're doing?
What's this tune called?
Sorry, Atsu, what was that?
What is this tune called?
It's called the boat. You should have read the briefing, Atsu. it's called the Bows of London City. No, it's fine. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah. We've all been there. We have all asked questions like that. I know I have many times. It's called the Bows of London City. Yeah.
And that last new note was that this one, the E, basically.
Yeah. So it ending on the E. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a sort of classic thing in a tune, isn't it? Often in folk tunes or dance tunes, the first time round a phrase you end with a sort of an expectant note, which is often a note above the note you're going to end on. So yeah, that's
Right.
exactly it. Yeah. So let's just play that through a few more times to see if we can solidify it. Here we go, very, very slowly. So from the top, here we go. Yeah, and again, here we go. Excellent. Okay. Now, because we're nearing our sort of hour and a quarter mark, let's just see if we can finish the A music. So the whole of the A music, I'll just play it quickly. It's going to go. I'll put in a little twiddle at the end there. You don't have to do that. That's the only new thing that we're doing at the end. We're just doing that. So very slowly, let's all try that last bit, which is just, that's how the tune resolves. Ready, go. Very good. And again. Excellent. So we'll just try all of the tune through very, very slowly. Here we go. Okay, let's try that once more, and then after that we're going to try doing that, just doing some very basic tabering. But let's try it without the tabering to start with. We're just going to do that very basic A music tune. Here we go. Right, and yep. Okay, does anybody have any questions at this point? No? Okay. So let's just see if we can introduce some very basic tabering. So the thing about tabering, if you're trying to consolidate tabering with the pipe, a really good technique to start with. If you're worried about the whole thing, that you got this flappy thing in your hand and you don't want to be thinking about it, what you can do is you can just put it down. Just put it down. And then what you can do is, if you've got a thigh or something, you can just tap your thigh, or maybe a piece of furniture or anything. Just tap something and find the easiest thing for you to do that's going to accompany the pipe. So it might just be that you want to accompany just the first beat of each bar, because that's perhaps a very obvious thing to do. So something that I could do here is I could go, now I know that's not what I want to do eventually, but it's a way of getting into it. And then I can progress from that to going like this. And then I can go, oh, well, okay, I can tap my thigh or whatever, or piece of furniture. I can do that basically. Seems to be all right. Let's see if I can get the wobbly warbly stick. See if I can get that to hit while I'm thinking about this. See if I can do that first beat in the bar. So I can do. And then when I'm, pretty solid on that, then I think, oh, okay, I'm pretty solid on that. So let's have a go at. So at that point, I've practiced the pipe. So I got the pipe tune solid. I've gone from first beat in the bar to bumba bumba bumba, and then I've gone from first beat in the bar to strong week, strong week, strong week, strong week. So then I can think, oh, actually, but I need a phrase ending. I need that thing to lift the dancers at the end. So I'm now going to add the bit at the end. So the whole thing then becomes. So it's all about building it up. And whenever you're building things up, there'll be days when you think, gosh, I'm worse than I was yesterday. That's very, very normal. It's just all about the motivation, the carrying on, thinking, yeah, I believe that I can get better and I'll get through this hump and I'll get better and I'll gradually improve if I keep working at it. Okay, so so we're nearly at an hour and a quarter. So let's just see if we can all play the tune without the tabor. See if we can all play the tune without the tabor. We'll all see if we can get through it slowly to start with. Ready, and. Again. Okay. Now we're going to slap a thigh on the first beat of each bar. Here we go. Ready, and. And now we're going to do that, but we're going to do the strong wink. Here we go, and. And now we're going to pick up our stick and we're going to do the first beat in the bar. Here we go. Ready? You all got your sticks and things ready? Okay, you're all ready. And here we go. Yes, are we all ready? And. Okay, and now we're going to try the strong weak thing all the way through. Here we go. And then finally, on the stroke of nearly quarter past, we're going to see if we can go all the way through that with the strong weak, and we're going to end with the ending phrase to lift the dancers, diddly bum bum. So it's all going to go diddly bum bum. So diddly lift land, diddly lift land is how it's going to go. Okay, let's try that whole thing. Here we go. Ready, and. And again. Again. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, just
That
one
was
quick.
brilliant.
That was great, Andy. I really enjoyed that. Just one quick question though: is the drumming the same pattern for the B part as well?
Okay, right. So, so the
Don't worry. If not, if we could save that for another time, if it's going to delay everyone.
Yeah, there are always decisions to make when you're a taborer, and one of the decisions you can make is to either do is to either do.
Goodbye. Sorry, have to go.
Bye, Charlotte.
Bye, Charlotte.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, see ya. So you got decisions to make. There's some sticking happens in the second part of the dance, and so what some people might do is do no taboring during the sticking parts, or they might. Some of the bits in it have got a dum dum. So there are different decisions, but yeah, I would probably let them go da dee da da dee dum da da dee da dee dum da dee da da dee dum da da dee dum da da. That's probably what I'd do, something like that.
Da dee da dee dum da 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 da. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think my wife's just arrived without the keys, and she's locked herself out. I'm gonna have to let her in. I'll be back in a second.
Any other questions?
Yeah, two quick questions. One, I find my little finger gets a bit sore. Is it worth putting something on the end of the pipe? I noticed the older ones have got fatter ends.
Well, so some people when they start do that. So one thing you can do is you can just get a rubber band actually.
Right. Yes.
And that might help your fingers get used to it. To be honest with you, it's all a matter of getting your fingers used to it, because after a while they just become completely used to it, and
it doesn't notice. Yeah.
You won't even remember that you even asked the question. It's all about the motivation, actually. If you've got like a vision that you can do it and you can work to it, you'll be great.
You'll be okay. Okay, and the second one is basically any means of getting the tabor stable is, fair or foul is allowed, is it?
Yeah, and every taborer has to make decisions about what they're going to do to try and improve what they do, and the wonderful thing about taborers is we're all very collaborative, and we all sort of, because we're almost an endangered species, we just love everybody trying to be better, So,
right, great.
it's all about what works for you. So you do see people with very precarious tabors, and it works, and historically they did do that, and it does work for some people to have it very precariously just, dangling. So there are all sorts of approaches. There's no one total answer to all of that. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are there any teachers around that? I live in Derbyshire.
Okay, I do online teaching.
Same
Right.
here. Same here.
Yeah.
So is that
yeah,
a viable thing? Is it?
Yes. Yeah, it works quite well. 40 minutes
Yeah.
on Zoom or Skype. Yeah. So you can contact me, or you can contact Steve if you fancy
Yeah.
doing that.
I mean, there is Stephen Frisbee, but we were going to get together in March, and nobody went anywhere. And I think now he's moved. He was in Lincoln, but it's still quite a trek for me. But yeah, I've been meaning to get around to learning. I did the medieval work. We performed at Medieval Music in the Dales, and I did a workshop with Terry Mann. He did a pipe and tabor workshop, and I thought, oh, this is really good. I like this, but then just never got around to learning it really, and I was, doing other stuff. So, but I would really like to, get my head back round it. Not that I ever got my head round it.
Line or drop the line, whichever.
I would say I found the online lessons have really, really helped a lot, and I've only had a few, and they've really worked well. Really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I was hoping to come to the festival this year. We'd got it in the diary to come for the whole thing, and the world changed, didn't it? So that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Just one thing I'd like to say, Andy. I've been messing around on the pipe for about a year, and I can knock out some sort of tunes to satisfy myself. But I now realise that I should have got myself a tabor a long time ago, because trying to do the rhythm and play, I was going all over the place. Before we did the tabor, the rhythm, I could play the pipe without too much of a problem. But once I start tapping that double beat and that, the pipe went out of the window. So I've realised now I shouldn't have neglected it for this long. You need to do two together, I think.
Don't beat yourself up about it though, because probably a lot of the work you've done is really, really solid groundwork, and it's just all about then gradually building up the labouring side.
It's a simple beat, I suppose, until you're comfortable with it. Yeah.
Yeah, just any simple beat, you just gradually build it up. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
I've got a tip there. Yeah. When I was learning, I was I used to go to work on the bus, and I would stand at the bus stop, which was on the edge of town. There was nobody else there, and I'd practice the pipe. And when I got on the bus, I'd go upstairs. There was nobody up there as well, so I would play. But as soon as people started getting on the bus, then I would put the pipe away, and I would do that thing. I didn't slap my thighs.
The nuts on the bus scenario, isn't it?
but I would. Then I'd also learned to drive by then, and I would sit in traffic jams and listen to music on the radio, and with my right hand I would beat the rhythms. And all you're doing is teaching your hand to beat the rhythms. And there's this technique, Atsu Fumi will know a lot about this, called isolation, and being able to separate what your right hand is doing from your left hand. Right. And it might seem very difficult, patting your tummy and rubbing your head and all that kind of stuff. But you look at what a guitarist does. They're doing complicated things with this hand and complicated things with this hand. You look at a pianist and they're doing all that kind of stuff. And it is just practice. And at the end of it, all you've got to do with your right hand is learn how to beat rhythms. And the more you do of it, the more a part of your brain gets connected to that hand. And it's like building a pathway. They call it muscle memory. And muscle is as much in the brain as it is in the hand. So just by building up that repertoire of hand movements, it builds that skill. So you can do it sitting in a car. In fact, what I used to do was all my cars have all my vehicles. I've got a camper van, and we've got 2 cars. We've all got one of these in each car. So if I get stuck on a motorway, I think, good, that's 2 hours practice I've got ahead.
It's you, is it?
And I would sit in traffic jams and on the way into work, and on a sunny day I'd have the sunroof open and people would hear this music and not know where it was.
Can I ask another question? Is there, I don't know if you covered this at the start of the best pipe to get for a beginner? You know what?
So have a vision for what you're aiming to do, and then think about how you're going to achieve it. So these pipes are really very, very good value, and they work really well. And what you can do, the thing I said I'd show you, is you can just slightly mute them, and because it's got a plastic mouthpiece, you're not going to do any damage. I wouldn't do this on a beautiful wooden instrument like George's, for example. So I wouldn't do it on George's. No, don't do it on yours, George. It's too precious. But he's got the Rolls Royce of the Mark Binns pipes there. So what I'm doing here is I'm just slightly covering about 40% of the windway. And then you just have to experiment with this.
It's blue tack he's using.
Bit of blue tack I've got here. And then this will just take some of the edge off the sound. It will go very, very microscopically flatter, but that might not be noticeable if you don't do too much of it. So that's a little bit indistinct. So I'm going to have to pull that back. So you have to experiment. So that's still a bit indistinct. And on different generations, it varies how much you can cover. So that's just taking the edge off some of the sound, and it will work better on some of the generations than the others, but it's just something to experiment with.
Why is it a D pipe seems to be so popular as opposed to say like a C? And this one here I've got as a C, which seems to have a much more mellow sound. It's not as
This
real.
is what I was talking about thinking about what you're aiming to do.
Right.
So if you're aiming to play with English folk musicians, then they will generally play in the keys of D, G, and D minor, and that pipe is perfect for that.
Right.
So it's really good for that. If you wanted to play in a session and you thought that even slightly muffling one of these was too loud, and you want to be able to play in a pub session, you can investigate a wooden pipe, which will give you a bit more mellowness of sound, and it will sound a little bit woody. So this one, this is a small bore pipe by Barry Lloyd, and these are really good for playing in sessions. So it's just got the edge off the sound slightly, so it won't be awful indoors, but it's still actually loud enough to play for Morris if you haven't got a lot of traffic. So
That's a nice sound.
Quite a mellow sound.
Yeah.
If you want something that's really loud and outdoorsy, then a Mark Binns or a Malvern Minstrelsy. So a Malvern Minstrelsy, this is a sort of more like the sort of volume of one of these, but it's got a slightly wooden sound to it, so quite sort of nice for a session, but you're going to be louder on this in a session than this. So if you wanted to really blend, this one would be the one. So that sort of blends a bit, and then, but it does carry outdoors. And then a Mark Binns, this is the really loud outdoor instrument for loud outdoor Morris dancers.
Is that longer than the generation pipe?
No, it's the same length.
Is that?
So all of those are high D.
Yeah.
So they're all good for Morris or for English folk stuff. If you want to play in some sort of early music group or a Cayley band or something like that, you might want to consider a different size of pipe. So this one is a. Just going to show you a Mark Binns G pipe.
Sorry, guys, I've hogged all the talking time here. So shut
No,
me up.
it's interesting.
It's very interesting. This is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play a lot of music that's in C or F, so the D instrument's a hard one for me.
I'll show you something for you in a second. Then hang on.
Yeah.
So this one is this is a Mark Binns loud G. So I use this in Taylor's Morris to play because I have to play with other musicians in that, and I have to be able to compete with the concertina.
Oh.
So that's quite a mellow sound, but it will actually carry outdoors, this one. But there are softer ones of that. There's so just talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm just going to bring a couple of other pipes to show you. I'm going to show you a low D, which is quite, it's got all the advantages of the high D, but it's a soft indoor instrument, blends, and I'll show you some other possibilities. C and F. I'll be back in a second.
Denise, what make of pipe is that one?
A Susato.
Right.
Yeah, Susato D. Yeah.
Is it plastic or is it wood? I can't see from there.
No, it's plastic.
It's plastic.
It's plastic, yeah.
The thing I'll say about the generation is they are amazing because they are very good for Morris. And they're very good for learning on. They're very precise, and you can't go wrong. You can get the range within the pipe. It plays perfectly well up and down. It just works very well. So for learning on, it's very good. But you mentioned the shrillness. It's not an indoor instrument,
right?
So primarily. It was designed for Morris. Russell Wortley got them to be made, and he played these through the rest of his life, didn't he, Andy? Russell.
Yeah, so Russell Wortley, if you listen to his recording of Bucknell Morris stuff,
yeah,
if you listen to that, then I think we're both playing these on that recording.
And those are generation, are they?
The generation one.
The generation it's a really good. It is a bit loud for playing in a session, but you can play it in a session. You just have to be very confident.
I'm a bagpiper. I play anywhere. I don't care.
A friend of mine who's a whistle player says that the older generations are superior to the current batch that are mass produced and everything. I don't know if that's the case you found with Tabor pipes.
So the question was about C and F. So I've got some instruments here.
Wow.
So let me start by showing you something that plays natively in F. So what you have to consider when you're looking at a Tabor pipe is it's going to have typically three keys that it plays fairly naturally in. So on a generation it plays in D because that's its fundamental. So you got the scale, and then you've got a scale of G where you're going to be doing this flattening of that note to get the scale of G. So you're going to go. that. Yeah. So they're your two major keys, and then your minor key tends to end on the one finger off, so it's E minor in this case. So that's your minor. So they're your three keys that you're typically getting out of a tabor pipe. So then what you're trying to do is assess, well, what keys am I going to play with other people or on my own? So this pipe is in F. So it's going to play using the same fingering. It's where I would get the key of D on that D one. This is going to get the key of F on this one. So it's got a really nice mellow sound to it.
Mm.
And Bill Tuck reckons that this was the original for playing for 15th century Italian dance. And this is,
Yeah.
So, I showed you that Barry Lloyd small bore. So this one's in purple heartwood, this one, but he makes them in other woods as well. It's just my favorite color is purple, and he knows that. So this one is one that he made. This is an F pipe that he made for me using purple heartwood. So it's a beautiful instrument. That's in F, but it will go B flat, obviously, with the other scale. So that's an F pipe. C pipes are quite useful for early music. I'll show you a couple of those. Well, I'll show you three different C pipes. So this is a maker that no longer makes them, unfortunately. But this is a lovely instrument. This is just one note lower than the high D. So that's really nice, but unfortunately she doesn't make them anymore. Malvern Minstrelsy do make Cs. This is a Malvern Minstrelsy C. That's quite a nice instrument. And then Barry Lloyd makes a low C. So you have to actually get your head around blowing softly enough to even get a scale out of it. So that's the low
Would
C.
you be tabering with something as big as that? Because I noticed your right hand was holding it steady.
Or yeah, or possibly you have one of those comedy microscopic tabors like they have in The Cobbler, where you have to sort of make it look really ridiculous. Pipe is microscopic. So the last pipe I want to show. There's two more pipes I want to show you. And these are both sort of useful in folk sort of bands or early music. So this is a low D. So it's got all the advantages of a high D. It has the disadvantage that you can't really play it outdoors. It's not loud enough. But in an indoor environment, it's really quite nice. So So a lovely mellow sound. And then the last one I can show you is some people like to play pipes in A because remember that you've got your 3 different keys that you're playing in on a pipe, and sometimes there'll be a tune in D that won't fit on this because it goes too low or perhaps too high or something. So you want to be able to shift the sort of starting notes around but still be in the key of D. So you can get the key of D on this using that half hold thing. So this is an A pipe from Mark Binns. So the scale of D starts on that note. And this is the indoor version of that pipe. I also have an outdoor one, a loud one as well. So any more questions on pipes?
I think you've covered it from my point of view for the time being.
It sounds like a
fantastic.
very expensive hobby.
Well, actually, in terms of instruments, it's amazingly cheap. I mean, if you think that a typical person who's addicted to melodeons, like a friend, of mine, he has at least 12 melodeons. Each of them costs it must have cost an average of £1,200 to £1,500 each. Now these pipes, I
suppose in comparison,
these are the best makers in the world. I mean, they put in an enormous amount of effort on these instruments, many hours of work, and they don't really come more expensive than about £300.
Yeah. I think it's the amount of them that you'd got.
Well, yes, I have a mad number of them. You don't need this number. It's all about thinking about what your objective is. Who are the sorts of people you're going to be playing with? What sort of dance do you want to play for? What sort of keys are going to work for that in that environment? It's all about those kind of questions.
Yeah. Also, I mean, if you aren't playing, like I'm not going to play Morris that much, so I could go with the Generation, or I have some a plastic set from Susato, which was very reasonable, and that'll be enough because I'm not playing those in front of an audience, unless I want to spring for a really nice wooden D, which seems like the most sort of generally flexible for that. I think I'll stick with C's and F's though.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite nice actually when we do the Tabor Society festivals. It's quite nice to have some sort of instrument in D, just to be able to play with other people. But it really doesn't matter what it is, to be honest. Whether it's a high
a £9.99.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I have to tell you, I have one of the Generations. It was a lot more expensive for me to get that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, well, the instrument was a third the price of the shipping.
Yeah.
The shipping killed me. But I've been very happy with it.
It's a lovely instrument. They are very great.
I have to put you off a little bit too, because I bought mine in the early music shop sale, which was on last weekend. So I think mine was £8 something or other, because it was 10 or 20% off.
It's amazing how much fun you can get from such a cheap thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, as you're in the US, I got this, and the import duty was extortionate for its price, and it's a tweak Generation made by,
Jerry Freeman?
Jerry Freeman, yeah. Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't think I told my government that I was importing a 10-pound instrument. The time it would have taken for me to fill out the paperwork would have been more expensive than me to just pay the fine if they caught me.
Your secret's safe with us.
Yeah. Back in the mid 80s, I went to school in Bradford. I went to university in Bradford when the early music shop was there.
Yeah.
It still is.
Saltaire.
Still there.
There now.
Saltaire,
I've been by there since there's nothing in Bradford anymore. Don't.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing to say about pipes generally is if you're buying from a wooden pipe maker, it's really worth having some means of either trying different ones and finding one that works well for your blowing style, or being very confident that you can sort of like maybe send it back and have a different one or
Yeah,
tweak.
that is a very good point. When I started, this was the only pipe available, and I played this for how many years? 30 years plus. And when I started up doing the pipe, set up the Pipe and Tabor Festival, one of my plans was to get more people to make them and get people to make wooden pipes, and then actually get them available. There was somebody making wooden pipes, and that was Ralph Sweet in the States. And the Early Music Centre had a set of his pipes, collect a lot of his pipes, and they sent them down to me to sell at the second festival. And so I had a stall with a whole load of pipes from Early Music Shop, and I had the one pipe out of the 15 sweetheart pipes that was playable. You know, the rest were ropey, and I think he had sort of sent the UK some not particularly good pipes, because I have played other ones since, you know, but not all of his were good pipes, you know.
Yeah. This one is a sweetheart pipe, and I think I've had four others in high D, and they've all been really good. So
yeah. And I've got a lovely one.
I was very lucky, or you were very unlucky, but
yeah. No. I mean, that was the pipes they had in the collection you know, for sale at that time. They sent me the whole stock. The one I've got, I really love, and it's styled like a Galloway, and it is beautiful. But they're not. So now, you know, we've promoted lots of makers, encourage makers to make Tabor pipes. And if you go on the Tabor's website, pipeandtabor.org, there's a whole page of instrument makers, and you've got links to those instrument makers. Some of them might not be there anymore, I don't know. But there's also a link to Marcus Music for the Tabors. And they're called Bucknell Tabors, and they were designed especially for us at our request. And they also sell these sticks, but you have to ask for them. And the other tip, actually, whilst we're on that, those sticks have this sort of thing which is balancing it just about there. So it's easy to hold, based on Spanish sticks. And one thing you can do, rubber band trick, on your straight stick, you can put a rubber band at just the right point as well, where the tip is just pointing down a little bit, so that it helps with your your twiddling. So that's a good thing. We're soon to go over to the concert, Andy.
I was just going to say, there's another rubber band tip. You put a rubber band at the end of the pipe to stop your finger sliding forward on these. Rubber bands and Tabor pipes and Tabor go really, really important. That is
a very good thing. If George, if you hold up the end of your pipe, we can see that it's got a little bead on there. Other way, there, can you see the little bead?
Yeah.
So wooden pipes have a bead, and you know, we can use the rubber band. Yeah, there you go, Jason.
So George has got so from Mark Binns, you tend to get a very reliable instrument, even though it comes all the way from Australia. And maybe George, maybe you can just play us a few notes just to end, because it's a lovely instrument you have there. It's a soft Mark Binns instrument. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Well done, George.
Well done, George.
Okay, well, do come. You all got my email address. Come back with questions, and see you in the rest of the festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's been
you.
really helpful.
Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Atsu. See you, Atsu.
Later.